Hey, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Matthew Maley for MatthewMaley.com. Well, we are on the couch, but we aren't in the normal spot, so it's not a weekly movie review. But I was able to check out a flick, and out in the theaters, and I really wanted to do a review of it because it was awesome. My cousin had hit me up, wanted to go check it out, and I'd seen the previews for it a couple times, but it wasn't a wide released movie, so ended up we had to wait a week to see it. Finally, we're able to, and wow, I'm blown away by it. I was speaking of a flick called The Raid Redemption. It's an Indonesian movie, takes place in a slum building in Jakarta. The entire thing is all filmed with English subtitles. But seriously, I wish I could explain how awesome this flick is. I'm going to do my best, but it still isn't going to capture how tight this movie was for an action flick. Before I even get into the premise, I just have to say that this was, if not the best action movie I've ever seen, it's one of the best, in the top 5. In terms of hand-to-hand combat, hand-to-knife combat, nightstick combat, more hand-to-hand combat, gun combat. This was, for mixing it all together, it was probably the best action movie. And I'm comparing it with The Matrix. I'm comparing it with Equilibrium. I'm comparing it with, the Die Hard movies, all these other, action flicks. This movie was legitimate. Let me see how long it was. Let me see if it mentions. It was 101 minutes long. And I would say 95 of them were action. But what's amazing is it still had a really good story to it. So the basic premise, and there isn't much weight getting into it, is we see this character who is a member of the SWAT team, the Indonesian SWAT team. We see him getting ready, working out. Then next thing we see is he's in the SWAT van with his other SWAT members, and they are getting ready to go and raid this building. And it's essentially like, for anybody who's seen one of my favorite movies of the 90s, New Jack City, it's pretty much The Carter. And the guy who's running is pretty much Nino Brown. And they're going in to shut this building down. It is I believe a 15, 16 story slum, but it's full of drug dealers, drug manufacturers, thieves, robbers, murderers. And the whole point of it is it's known to be a hangout and a safe house for all the scum of the earth, quote unquote. And that's it's pretty much a hotel for criminals. And the leader of it is such a ruthless guy. Everybody knows they're safe there because nobody can ever overthrow this guy. Just based on the fact that he's on the 15th floor and he doesn't leave, so how could you even kill him in the first place? Plus, people have tried to take over his turf before, and he just shuts them down. So, I want to shout out a couple of the... first, it was directed by Gareth Evans, who's a really small producer or director, but absolutely killed in this. He also wrote it. It stars Iko Uwais, Ananda George, Ray Sahetapi, as well as Yayad Ruhayan and Dani Alasayaya. I apologize for how I pronounced all those names. I don't speak Indonesian, so I apologize. But now that that's mentioned, wow. I literally am still dumbfounded. I almost wanted to go back and watch it again, like back to back, just to get to see it all again. The action is so incredible. It's like the first time I ever, really saw Bruce Lee in a movie. I had to rewind it just to watch the action again. I was so blown away by it. I was just so dumbfounded first off, that somebody could be moving as fast as he was, and second off, that every single motion and strike and everything was for a purpose. There wasn't wasted movements. And that is something that they used to a T in this movie. And when I tell you that there was 95 minutes of action, I mean that. Literally, from the time they go in, of course, everything, you know, goes completely foobar, because, well, why wouldn't it? There's no reason to make the movie if that doesn't happen. And now it becomes this elite SWAT team has to fight their way up to the 15th floor. And in the process, they are encountering every single resident of this building whose sole purpose is to try and keep them from reaching the top. And so you've got guys with machetes, you've got guys with full auto AKs, you've got guys with knives, with shotguns, pistols, oh my God, swords, like everything. Plus some of the most ridiculous hand-to-hand combat I've ever seen. So pretty soon we realize there's more to this whole process. There's a lot of corruption within the police force that you learn. There's also a really big twist in it that I'm not going to give away at all, because I really thought that it added to the overall structure of how good this movie was. So I don't want to give that away. Not going to blow that for you. But what was impressive is that when you get a lot of movies that are, you know, kung fu type of movies or action type of movies, the overall story suffers because they're trying to make it just an action movie. I personally believe that was with a few Bruce Lee movies. He was an amazing actor, but at the end of the day, a lot of them didn't really get to the level they could have because they were so focused on the action. Same thing, well, I mean, definitely with the second two Matrix movies. The first one, I will give it a pass. But a lot of those type of movies, action in general, is so focused on the action that they don't actually follow a story. One obvious trilogy, actually, that doesn't follow that is the Bourne trilogy, which the Bourne movies have some of the best combat I've ever seen, some of the best hand-to-hand combat I've ever seen, gunplay, everything. And this was right on par with that. The scene in the Bourne movies, in the third Bourne, when him and Desh are in the bathroom going at each other, this was as good as that. Seriously. There's one hand-to-hand combat scene that's incredible. That's a one-on-one scene. Then there's another hand-to-hand combat scene where it's a two-on-one. One of the sickest scenes I've ever seen. Like, legitimately. Probably the best hand-to-hand combat scene I've ever seen. Better than Neo and Morpheus in The Matrix. I mean, it was truly incredible. There was a scene, probably the scene that was my favorite of them all, is a scene where it's essentially the Star with a knife and a nightstick against the floor of machete and knife wielding attackers. It was ridiculous. And what's crazy is it didn't ever seem unbelievable. It wasn't like so crazy over the top that you're like, come on. Everything, because of how the movements were so well controlled and the amount of training that everybody did for this movie, everybody who played with the SWAT team members actually went through like the full SWAT team in Indonesia's regimen to actually know and realize what they're doing. So everything from the hand movements that they used to how they reloaded the weapon, when they reloaded the weapon. You know, the bullet count was a little off. But the fact that they actually were reloading the weapon was impressive to me. There's so many action movies, they just don't care about that. But this scene with him and his knife, I'm going to buy the movie just off of that. Just off of that one scene. Not to mention the rest of the movie that was awesome. Just off of that one scene. It was awesome. And one thing I liked is that there was a lot of violence, obviously. I mean, it's about trying to ascend 15 floors of killing while not being killed. So obviously there's going to be violence. But it also, while being incredibly violent, it never felt over the top. It didn't feel campy. It didn't feel corny. It just felt like, wow, it felt so realistic. I'm blown away by this flick, honestly. It's so blown away. I cannot recommend this enough. This is as solid of a 4.5-star movie if I watch it a couple more times, it really might get to 5 stars. This very well could be my favorite action movie of all time. And I recommend it so, so highly. It is still out in the theaters. It's a very limited release. It's an unrated movie, but it definitely would be rated R. So keep that in mind. Tons of graphic violence, tons of gratuitous language, tons of graphic violence. It's amazing, but tons of graphic violence. So keep that in mind. Don't want you guys taking your kids to see it. But please see it. You will not be disappointed. I mean, I'll give you a damn money back guarantee. If you like action movies and you see this and you don't like it, let me know. Tell me why. Seriously, I was blown away. So, there you go. Hope you guys like it. Like I said, I wanted to throw this recommendation out there, even though it's not Friday. So I'm sitting in a different spot. So we'll call this another one of the Out to the Movies reviews. So, there you go. Definitely recommend you check it out. My only sad thought about it is the fact that they're actually going to be doing a remake. They have already announced that in 2014, they're going to be doing an American remake. And I'm really worried they're going to screw it up. This, I don't see how they could ever make it as good as the original. Even if they made it a carbon copy of the original, just with American actors, it still wouldn't be as good. Just because that was the original. And how it was filmed was so awesome. And the levels of darkness and the levels of shots that were from, like, security cameras or from first-person views, or it was very well filmed, it was very well acted, it was very well directed, it was very well written, and I was really impressed with it. So I also loved the ending. I loved how they did the ending. You'll see when you end up checking it out, you'll see what I mean. But I really liked how they did the ending. It wasn't the standard Hollywood American happy ending type of thing. And I don't feel that I'm giving anything away by saying that, because I'm not going to say who it involves. But it definitely wasn't the standard of what you would assume. So overall, loved it. Once again, please go check out The Raid Redemption, playing very limited release in a city near you. Highly recommend it. Definitely one of my favorite movies that I've seen thus far in 2012. And I'm definitely going to go check it out again. So, I am Matthew Bailey, for MatthewBailey.com. Want to do a quick Out to the Movies review, and hope you guys like it. So, if you've already seen it, let me know what you guys think. Did you love it? Do you think I'm smoking crack because you hated it so much? Let me know. Tell me if you think there was a better action flick, what it was. List them. Please. Curious. So, as always, thank you for checking out my videos. Much appreciated. And if you want to check out the rest of them, you can check me out on MatthewBailey.com. Check out the video blog tab, or double click one of the videos. It'll send you over to YouTube, where you can like, comment, subscribe, and everything else happy you can do on YouTube. Or you can check me out on Facebook. I'm going to be posting all my videos up to Facebook. Just simply search Matthew Bailey Poker, and I'll have everything listed there. Or finally, you can follow your boy on Twitter. I don't have the videos up there, but I always have other interesting little 140 character posts. And I'm at Matthew Bailey. So, till the next video, I'm officially signing off. Peace out, y'all.